Hey guys, OJ Albina here, bringing you guys our GDL Season 1 Week 5 team builder against Matt O'Shea and his Montreal Milotic. Very talented player, very good content creator. He's someone I definitely enjoy watching, so you should definitely go check him out if you haven't done so already, though I'm sure you know who Matt is if you're here watching my stuff and all that good stuff. But yeah, talented player, good content creator, all that stuff, yada. But, as you can probably tell from my voice, I'm really tired. I have an 8 a.m. class in the morning. It is currently almost midnight, so I want to get this recorded and pushed out. So I can go to bed and get ready for class in the morning. So I'm gonna kind of jump right into things and not waste any more time. But yeah, our team, if you did forget, is going to be the Gengar, Cinderace, Rotom-Mow, Araquanid, Avalugg, Kingler, Togekiss, Galarian Stunfisk, Haxorus, and Scrafty. While our opponent's team is on your screen right there down at the bottom, it consists of the Hydreigon, the trio of Passimian, Serena, Stelgor, Togedemaru, Jellicent, Aromatisse, Snorlax, and Braviary. All non-Gen 8 months, which is pretty interesting actually. It's a lot of old reliables basically. A lot of really scary things. So Hydreigon in particular is a menace versus me. Dugtrio is really annoying because it traps a lot of my offense pretty reliably, especially if he's like a Scarf set or like a Sash set, if he can keep away hazards. Being that we only have one rocker, that's not the most unlikely thing that he can do. The Simian can be potentially annoying, not the worst thing in the world. If he's Scarfed, I think it's not as good versus us, but if he's like a bulk up set, I'm actually pretty terrified of that. And then Kerslax, I'm absolutely mortified to play against Kerslax. This thing is going to be a menace. But yeah, that being said, oh, and Togedemaru is going to be his Dynamax captain, and that thing can definitely be scary too. We have a one Mon that checks that on our team, and the rest of our team loses to it once a Dynamax is up, so we're going to have to be very careful about that thing. But yeah, with that being said, I think we can kind of just jump into our first Mon here. Actually going to be our primary win con. I saw this right off the rip. Well, that's not true. I saw that Haxorus did very good right off the rip, but I kind of originally had a set that was a lot like our last week's set, where it was going to be a what do you call it? It was a just 4 attacks life orb set. Hold on, our music stopped. Oh no. Can I loop? Okay. Sorry, very unprofessional. Live editing. But yeah, I originally had a life of 4 attacks Haxorus because again he seemed really hard, and I want first impression for the Hydreigon because I am utterly convinced that he is going to end up bringing a what do you call it? Scarf Hydreigon. Because if you look at my opponent's team and you look at Haxorus at +1, whew, it goes crazy on him. It goes insane with just close combat, poison jab, Dragonflaw, which actually we end up going with because my way of circumventing that very likely Scarf Hydreigon is going to be the Bomberry. With our investment right here, we actually live a Scarf Draco after Rocks, which is no, I think it's actually before Rocks. It's before Rocks. We have another thing on our team that can actually make us definitely live that after Rocks, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But I really like the aspect of Habanberry. Just a guarantee, because we really want to get up 2 Dragon Eggs if we can. If we can get up 2, this game is over. Like, it is just completely over. There's nothing my opponent can do about a +2 Haxorus. There's not much most teams can do. So we have a pretty bulky spread here. EVs wise, I think we have enough speed for a max speed Togedemaru. Let me check my little prep doc just to make sure that's exactly what it is. Yeah, so we're creeping Togedu, we can live Scarf Hydra Draco, and then we do the rest to attack, just to kind of maximize our attack and try and get as much damage as we can, while still having a lot of bulk and all that stuff. So yeah, that's going to be Haxorus for primary win con if we can get that thing set up. Next up, we're bringing the Galarian Stunfisk. We're rocking out with the Chocolate Berry Mimicry ability. Excuse me. Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, and Ice Fang. 244 HP, 20 attack, 140 defense, 100 spread and 4 speed with an impish nature. Now, this one is very important in this game, which is really funny because it's the one mon on my team that just 150% allows Kerslax to set up on it. Just like incredibly easy. So we're going to have to be potentially smart around that thing. Which is obviously pretty annoying, but I think we can get around it otherwise. But we have Earthquake. This is going to be our main check to the Togedemaru, which, like I said before, is an absolute menace versus our team. Once that thing's Dynamaxed up, it has coverage for basically everything I've gotten. The only mon I can't really hit very well is Stunfisk. We do have the Chocolate Berry because it does have access to reversal, so I definitely expect that because I'll also let him boost his attack with the max fighting. But we should be okay in that aspect. I believe the 20 attack on Stunfisk here, it kills a Shuka Togedemaru. when he's not Dynamax. When he's Dynamax and he's Shuka, obviously he's going to lift that hit. But we should kill a Dynamax tomorrow if he's not super bulky as well, just because of the 4x super protective and our decent attack stat. We have Rocks to get up Rocks. Rocks are very important. This game breaks the sturdy on Togedemaru. It breaks the Sash from Dougie. And it punishes a lot of the switches. Serena doesn't spin very well versus my team, like, at all, just because I have a Gengar. You know, and his other hazard removal is very subpar. I believe Braviary doesn't get it yet, and if it does, it's not the best D5 versus me, honestly. If you bring a Braviary, I think it's much more likely to be offensive versus my team. But speaking of Braviary, this also serves to check for that. We can take hits from because of the Child Bear. We can T-Wave it to slow it down. We have Ice Fang right here just to not be sub-bait for the Hydreigon in case he's nasty quad sub, which I don't necessarily expect this week, but he could definitely be that with like Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, which would be incredibly unfortunate because that Mon also 6-0s us, so we have to be very careful around that. So I threw on the Ice Fang there just in case, which means we had to go forego Sucker. And then if you didn't know, Stunfisk actually does not get any reliable physical Steel Stab other than Metal Claw, so we don't really have a way of hitting their Robotease very hard. Like I said, Snorlax can come and set up on us. The Jellicent can come in on us pretty freely, which can be pretty annoying. Dotrio can trap us, which is like the worst thing. I really almost ran Shed Shove just so that we could not be trapped by Dougie, but then we were much more Togedemaru weak there, so I didn't want to be that. So we ended up rocking out with the set that we have right here. I believe EVs wise, like I said, we kill Shuka Togedemaru with our 20 attack. Our Spadef lets us live a +2 Life Orb Dark Pulse after rocks from the Hydreigon, which is very nice. And then we just tossed the rest in defense just to take those hits from Togedemaru. There wasn't any specific rolls that I really wanted to avoid getting knocked out by and stuff like that, just looking at all the calcs and stuff. So I ended up going with that calc for Hydreigon and then throwing the rest in defense there just to help out because it's obviously the best place for it. Next up, we have another pseudo win con here. It's going to be Kingler, rocking out with the Sheer Force, Agility, Liquidation, Knockoff, and Superpower. 36 HP, 252 attack, and 220 speed with an Adamant Nature. We're rocking out with the Lumberry as the item as well. I don't know if I might have said that. This one actually does phenomenally too. It really hits his team incredibly hard. We have the Lumberry for that Jellicent, so we can 2-hit KO with Max Darkness. And if he tries to burn us, obviously, we will not be burned. It also allows us to set up on the Snorlax Body Slam. We actually pretty easily chew a hit from that. Unless he's like +3, I think we can take a Body Slam. So that's obviously super nice for Kingler there, because Snorlax is going to be one of the main setup base. But obviously, we don't want to be paired, so we're going to have to play around that correctly. The only thing on his team that does not get hit by this thing incredibly hard is going to be the Serena. I don't have much to hit the Serena coverage-wise, so if that thing comes, we are going to need to chip it down, but I don't think Serena is very good versus me, if I'm being honest, so I would not be surprised to see that thing sit the bench this week. Other than that, we have Superpower for Hydreigon, which turns into Max Fighting, which is also super nice because we get a kind of a double dance aspect without actually having to run Swords Dance. Liquidation for Dougie, Liquidation for Persimmon, gotta chip the Serena, Liquidation for the Selgor, Superpower for the Togedemaru, Knockoff for the Jellicent, Liquidation, Superpower, Liquidation. So this one actually does really well this game too. So if we can facilitate this thing to set up, obviously looking pretty nice there. Speed-wise, I think we have enough speed for, we're creeping a Serena, creeping a Max Speed Scrafty. So if he's not running Max Speed Serena, we should actually even be able to outspeed this, which should be pretty nice. You're going to see, though, I am, spoilers, recording this after the match, and all that stuff. You're going to see, I'm actually, despite my fears of the Scarf Hydreigon and being convinced he would come, I'm an idiot, and I actually did not creep correctly, or think to creep a Scarf Hydreigon with my Kingler, and I actually end up being 1 point slower than Timid Hydreigon in the calc, as I saw in the game when I was calcing and stuff like that. You guys will definitely be able to see how that goes down in the battle. Might not go down how you think it does, but it's definitely an aspect of the game to definitely look out for. It was definitely a huge misstep on my end, not, obviously creeping that, because I was literally, if I just went up 2 more, like if I literally just went, boop, and I went like that, then I outsped it, so, or I could have even got just 1 more, I think, just because of the scarf doubling, so, I mean, just the way the speed works, stuff like that, so yeah, that's going to be a big misplay on my part, but not the biggest deal. And next up, we have our Gengar, rocking out the Polar Bear Curse Body ability, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Taunt, and Sludge Wave. This mon actually does really well this game too. Minus Snorlax, I hit this team incredibly hard with dual stabs. I didn't really see the need for much else coverage on this thing.
Does really, really phenomenally in that aspect versus my opponent's team. We're creeping a max speed Hydreigon because that is going to be the fastest thing on his team, minus that Doug Trio, which is definitely really, really nice for us. We can live a Life Orb Dark Pulse after Rock with our Polar Berry, which is really nice because, like I said, Hydreigon is a huge threat, and I really do expect that Scarf. So being able to live that hit, pretty much guaranteed, is pretty nice for us, and we can throw off a big Focus Blast and definitely knock that thing out after some Rock Chip or so Life Orb Chip or anything like that. So that obviously makes Gengar a very good sufficient lure this game. We have Taunt so that we're not set up on by Snorlax. That's pretty much the only reason we have Taunt. I'm going to be honest. There's not much else I really want to taunt. There's not much else I really benefit from taunting. But the Snorlax, I definitely do. Because despite having the Focus Blast coverage, it bounces. It bounces off Speed. Snorlax takes it's barely a 3-hit KO. And if he's a berry, it's definitely not a 3-hit KO. So that's something we have to be ready for and all that good stuff. But I do think that Gengar is pretty good here. It's a good breaker. It puts on a lot of pressure on my opponent, and it puts me in a position where I could potentially take advantage of some pretty obvious switches into stuff like the Snorlax. So yeah, that's going to be Gengar. Next up, we have our Togekiss. We're rocking out with the leftover Serene Grace ability, Air Slash, Light Screen, Aura Sphere, and Morning Sun. 244 HP, 4 defense, 76 special attack, 4 sprint def, and 180 speed with a modest nature. Now, speed-wise, this is creeping the exact same thing as Kingler. We are creeping a max speeds, not a max speed, we are creeping a Serena, creeping a max speed Scrafty, which is obviously super nice for us. We were able to throw the rest into HP, get right about max HP, and then throw the rest into special attack just to get some modest damage. Let us 2-hit KO things like Hydreigon. I think the 76 actually allows us to always 2-hit KO Hydreigon, which is, unless it's like, AV or max speed F or something like that. But this is going to be our main Hydreigon check. Like I said, Hydra goes crazy versus me. I really almost want the Berry. I almost want Boots as well, but Matt actually only has one rocker, being the Duck Trio, which doesn't, necessarily always have the opportunity to get up rocks versus me, because if it does, it drops to pretty much any Pokemon on my team's offensive moves, just because I brought a very offensive team this week. So, I don't think it has the best opportunities to set those up if he wants to use them in that trap and roll, but he also could just get rocked up because he values them versus me. So we'll see. We end up going with the leftovers just for the residual recovery. We have Air Slash just for general stab, Morning Sun for recovery, Aura Sphere to hit the Hydreigon as well as the Snorlax for super effective damage. We don't really do much to Snorlax, but it hits it nonetheless. And then our, Light Screen. Light Screen is great because if we can get up a Light Screen for the Haxorus, I think we take 50% max from a max special attack Draco, which is pretty nuts. It allows us to definitely get up 2 Dragon Dances, see some special threats that we potentially set up on much easier. We set up on a lot of those physical ones regardless. So I figured Light Screen would be a nice tech move. It was actually suggested to me, I built a lot of this team with John Jr., so huge shouts to him. I totally forgot to shout him out earlier in the video, but he really helped me refine this team. I had a rough draft built with 6 Mons, and he really helped me touch up and fine-tune this build. So shouts to him for that. But yeah, that's going to be Tokekiss's main role. Aura Sphere also hits the Togedemaru, which is big. That's why I went it over Deagling, just because they hit Wax at least decently. And also hit the Togedemaru. I apologize, I am exhausted, but thankfully won our last mon, which is going to be Cinderace. We're rocking out with a Choice Scarf Cinderace this week. Blaze ability, Power Ball, Low Kick, U-Turn, and Gunk Shot. 76 HP, max attack, and 180 speed with an Adamant nature. Now this allows us to outspeed a max speed Hydreigon, so we should have great speed control over my opponent. Unless he brings Scarf, Dougie, we will outspeed absolutely everything on my opponent's team, which is incredibly nice to have. We outspeed a +1 Togedemaru if it gets up a max airstream coming off of bounce, which is really big, being able to knock that thing out with a Power Ball. We have to be careful with Low Kick. I have that over High Jump Kick for Lax just because it does a little bit more damage because it's a heavy lad, and I don't want to, take that High Jump Kick recoil in case the Jellicent comes in or something like that, because that's a great check to this thing. We have Gunk Shot for the Aromatisse. Powerball is going to be the move we click the most, along with U-Turn. This is just a good Scarf. It gives us good speed control, and it gives us some insurance versus the Togedemaru with Scarf Hydra, or even like a Scarf Pissimian or something like that. So yeah, that's going to be the build. I think we have a pretty solid squad this week. It's very offensive, as have many of our builds so far this season. So hopefully we can keep up some good offensive momentum and be able to overwhelm our opponent and pick up a dub this week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're new, Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and drop a likes, all that good stuff. Just let me know if you're enjoying what I'm doing and all that good stuff. Battle should be going up tomorrow. It is a great battle, so definitely be sure to check it out. I'm excited to upload, and I'm excited for you guys to watch it. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.